I like that. This is Barber Talk. That's cool, man.
And welcome, everybody, to a very special episode of this is a YouTube live stream we're doing, actually. We don't do these very often, but I'm Caleb. Thank you for joining us on My Mental Breakdown. And today is a very special episode, Barber Talk. And I'm joined with the sponsor of our show, the gentleman from the Wool Exchange. I have Andrew and Corey. How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you doing?
Going great.
Doing great. First thing I really wanted to get into before we get into kind of the Barber Talk sort of thing is the Wool Exchange. You've now been in Lancaster for a year, right, Andrew? You're the owner.
Yeah, that is correct. I've been there about a year now. Celebrated my 1 year this July 1st. It's doing really well.
Okay. Awesome. What kind of was it that led to you opening up that shop in Lancaster?
Well, I decided to open that shop in Lancaster due to the fact that I've always kind of dreamt of an old school barbershop downtown.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good feel, it's a good vibe. You know, someplace you can go, hang out, get a cut, and learn what's going on around town.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, part of what we're doing today is we kind of wanted to do this thing where it's advice nobody asked for. And I'm kind of stealing that phrase from a YouTuber called Buckley. He does a kind of similar thing. But, you know, we always kind of talked about how whenever I come into the shop, you know, you guys always do, like, advice. So, you know,
even if it's not needed.
Yeah.
And, some humor in it, too.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we thought it'd be fun to do a little bit of a thing where we kind of did whatever you want to call, like, an advice episode with you guys. So with that being said, our first question, and I'm going to change people's names, just for the sake of
kind of how we do it. What's talked about in the barbershop stays in the barbershop.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So we've got a gentleman here who is in his mid-20s, and he's trying to find love. We'll call him...
Is that a real thing? Or?
We'll
Depends on what you call love, brother.
Lonely in Louisiana. All right. And so he says, Dear Andrew and Corey, I am a shy single guy in my mid-20s. Like many people my age, I am on a major online dating site where I have communicated with some wonderful people.
Oh, that's your first...
Yeah, that's wrong right off rip, right?
So he says that. I've been talking recently with one woman who's about my age. We seem to hit it off, messaging each day for a couple of weeks about our interests, dreams, families, etc., etc. I finally asked if she would like to meet up on a specific date. She responded that she would be away during that time, but she would love to meet up after she returned. She said, and I quote, I promised it's not just an excuse. However, I now see that her profile on the site has either been deactivated or deleted. Am I being ghosted? I interpreted her statement that she would love to meet after a specific date, an indication that she was still interested. But did I misread the signals? This is my first experience with this, so I do not know how to interpret this behavior. Should I wait until the specific date passes in order to see if she just deactivated temporarily due to traveling? Should I just accept this as a cost of dating in this era and move on? I have knowledge of one of her social media accounts where I can contact her. Should I contact her through that medium or just let sleeping dogs die? Sincerely, Lonely in Louisiana.
Go ahead, Corey. What do you think there, brother?
Okay, well, you know what? I think in today's world, it is more... we all know it's more of an internet-driven, social media type of thing as when it comes to dating. And I think that's the problem, though, because you can create so many fake things, and we all know the whole catfish thing, and we know that, you know, you get hit up by somebody that look beautiful and everything seems to be right, and then when you meet up with her, it's not what you thought it was. So, you know, from hearing that is, I would say that this person now, because he's taken it so far to where he's ready to meet, he's, you know, fallen for this person, I would say that this right here, this is dead. You know, they're
You don't say.
Yeah, I'd say that you know, that's either probably a man baby, or you know,
or a Russian girl that's just hitting you up on Facebook to friend requests, and you got like 2 friends that actually like her, and they're looking at them like, man, I don't know if I should.
And that's funny too, because actually a while back, I think we had a situation like that where somebody was talking on Facebook Messenger, and right off rip, as soon as the conversation started, you know, evolving, she sent back something along the lines of, "Hey, is there any way that you can send me $200? I just need a little bit of money to get around town."
Seems legit.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does. We won't say any names because what happens in the shop stays in the shop.
Yeah. What was she? I think the story went where she needed some traveling money or something.
She needed some traveling money.
Oh, because by the way, she happened to be in Europe at that time, but when she gets back, she's actually going to hang out and come see us.
Really from Ohio, just visiting right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's usually ISIS members, is what I've come to find out.
The supermodels of the ISIS world. You know?
Yes.
All right. So we're kind of definitively saying that he got ghosted.
Yeah,
pretty definitively.
I'd say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on.
Sorry about that, brother.
Oh, okay. we're sorry, sir. Moving on, we've got another person who their family had a loss, and so it's not exactly the greatest thing in the world.
No.
But my mother passed away this last November. Sorry for your loss. My father started dating a close family friend in January, and now they are engaged. This person has a shaky past. She's been engaged, married, divorced several times in the past 15 years. She engages in illegal activities such as drug distribution and fraud.
Nice.
We do, yeah, right.
Top
we
notch.
do not want the grandchildren to be involved with her. My father insists that if we or the grandchildren want to have any contact with him, that she must be included. We've told him he is more than welcome to visit us or take the grandchildren places, but she cannot join them. He tells the grandchildren we are keeping him away, when in fact it is his choice to not be without his new fiancée, even for a few hours. We love our father and want him to be happy, but this relationship seems to just be a way for him to keep from being alone. If it lasts, we may warm to the relationship, but with her history, I can't say if she'll ever be allowed around the kids. My family is still grieving the loss of my mother, and I feel like I am grieving the loss of another parent because he has essentially cut contact with us in order to spend time with her. Are we wrong to keep from having contact with Are we wrong to keep her from having contact with the children? Sincerely, I don't know. Confused in Connecticut.
Confused in Connecticut, huh? That's a tough one. It depends on, if someone's willing to change, how old they are, and the father's factors of, his age, right. Trying to rekindle his, he's trying to feel loved again. There's all kinds of scenarios in there that you can throw out. Sometimes you just need to give people a chance. Sometimes you can't. You just kind of ear, see what happens. Start kind of casual, bring them in, let them do their thing, but watch them and then see where it goes.
Yeah, I think that you got to have a support system too, because everybody grieves in their own different ways too. So I think with a man going in and starting up a new relationship, just like what Andrew said, is they have that saying, once a cheater, always a cheater. Sometimes though it isn't true. Sometimes there are somebody that has went through and experienced life, and now they're wanting to start brand new, and they want to, just because their past says one thing doesn't mean you should shut them right off the rip. So
yeah, everybody has paths they've taken in their life, and sometimes it takes a while to take that right turn and makes you go in the right path.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's nothing, there's plenty of people that who they were when they were young comparison to who they are now, just because they might have maybe a rap sheet that was from when they were dumb and stupid in their high school teen ages, now they're 40, 50 years old. People change.
Yeah.
But when you say change, you can.
I guess the concern would be
it's hard to say on that.
I guess the concern would be with the grandchildren.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What you do in that situation, because it's like you have to have this sort of thing where your kids are involved in this.
Oh yeah.
Because it's one thing where it's like me and my stepmom. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's another thing where we now add in she has these past things that have gone on, and I don't want my kids around that.
Yeah.
And that's what I see as being the big issue.
Well, that's the moderation thing. That's when you have to kind of go in there, you have to be there for them scenarios to first let it play out, see how that person acts and how they're, but it's, you don't want them to be like some raging boozer that, is falling over drunk and being a bad influence on the kids and stuff like that, but hey, you might see that on the 4th of July, but not every day of the week, when you go, can bring the kids over for dinner and there she is with a bottle of wine, stumbling around the living room. It's a little different, but
yeah.
So
when she walks around, if you hear, aluminum foil or, plastic rattling, it's a bad sign, is what I've been told. So,
well, there you go. If you hear aluminum, what was it?
Aluminum foil and plastic. If you hear it crunching around or rattling around, it's time to ease off a little bit. That's your first sign. So I've been told. Or if they don't want to get wet. Yeah. If they don't want to jump in the pool.
Gremlin?
Well,
that's what I thought.
That's one thing too. But just remember, be advised. If you want to get them wet, then
I gotta know what's the aluminum foil thing.
Well, the aluminum foil thing is for the people that don't know. Some people put things in aluminum foil that let's say aren't really legal. So if you hear that crunching around, that might be That might be a little bit of her, dead giveaway. It might be a little bit of her get right medicine, if you know what I'm saying. Okay,
yeah. Especially if she has like a past in the drug habits, and alcohol, and things like that.
Yeah, or pat her down at the door.
But they start talking real fast.
Give her a hug. Say, this is what we do in this family. Pat her down. Give her a little search.
What are you doing?
What's that rattling in your purse?
Yep, exactly. Get the dog over there. Why is it sniffing?
Why are you bringing the German Shepherd around all the time? Don't worry about it. All right. Well, on to the next one.
These are getting good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have a young woman who she wants to make sure she's getting the most out of her 20s. Does life? Wow. She asked.
Well,
dear Andrew and Corey, does life actually get better after you get past your 20s? Success was already starting to happen to the Bronte sisters by the time they reached my age at 23. I'm falling behind my peers, and I feel I can't catch up. Please tell me the 30s are better. Let's say sad in St. Louis.
Well,
okay. This is interesting to me. Okay, the one thing that I want to say is like on a positive note is I would say, and Andrew, he I know he can add into this, but the thing is, like, in your 20s, at least for me, when I started out, I was pretty wild. So, I always felt this pressure, like I try to talk to people in the shop about, when they feel like they're down and out and, they're like, man, I'm almost all the way through my 20s, what am I going to do? The thing is just like myself, I started out being successful towards my late 20s and further on. So that person saying, well, I'm seeing all these people become successful and I feel like I'm falling behind. It's never too late to start going forward in your life to become whatever it is that you have set up.
Oh no, it's never too late. Never too late.
Never too late. So
it's not too late.
No, that's a good point, Corey. Man, I'm pushing. I hate to say it, kids, but I'm pushing 40 here in a couple years, and in my 20s, it was kind of I had an adventure. I went around, saw what you want to see things, you want to do things, you want to experience everything. The whole 18, 21, you're trying to just not get in trouble. That you have a legit. You're like, I'm just young. Then you get into them early 20s, and you're like, some of you guys went to college, some of you guys went to work.
Yep.
You took that quick, easy money. Some of construction, waiting tables, and then you have the scenario where that you go off to college and you wait and you try to be good. Or when you are in college, you aren't good, and you have to go get a waiting job after that, and move to California and see what happens. But the 20s are your time to figure out who you are, what you want to do. But you have to have some set goal to when you're pushing into your 30s.
Yeah.
Okay, I did this, I liked it, but I don't see myself doing this. You really got to think about what you really want to do in life, and what you have plenty of time. I mean. Every day is a gift to everybody.
Right.
You got to think the next day is going to be a better one, and you just keep on going. If if I thought when I was 20 years old I would be doing what I'm doing now at pushing 40, I would have laughed in your face. I'm like, no way I'd be doing that. That's not what I was swinging a hammer. And that's, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. And, on that note, that's the thing, too. It's so crazy to me, and we talk about this a lot in the shop, too. People need to stop hating on other people, because it's just
do
like that.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah, everybody has different paths.
Yeah, so don't hate on somebody else whose life is set up or they're trying their best, and then when they do become successful, I know I've seen it, and I bet Andrew's probably seen it. You get somebody that looks like they're doing successful. They don't understand how hard it got. It was on them to get to that level,
right.
And they still want to say, oh, well, that person did this or whatever. Just like we were talking about with the past thing on the previous, conversation we were having. Just because somebody has a past or whatever, and you feel like, oh, they don't deserve to be where they are, we got to stop doing that as a people. And it's sad that that's how it is. I wish. Just like I know Andrew, he tells his clients, I tell mine too. I'm proud of every single person when they come in and they say, hey, I have a new goal. I'm going to do this or whatever. Yeah, do that. Don't let somebody else sit there and keep you back and say, oh, well, you can't make it. You can't do this. So, it definitely is not over when you're getting into your late 20s. A story can begin, just as quick as it ended.
Oh, yes. When I was hitting early 30s, that was when you really start thinking about what life's about, right. But you stop worrying about what other people are thinking about what you do. You don't have to, you're starting to focus on just your way, and then once you get to that point, then you have a next adventure
right.
that follows that.
Yeah. Well, and, obviously he's a lot more successful and kind of had a lot more opportunities, but if you think about Robert Downey Jr.,
oh, that guy was up and down his whole life.
That guy, he didn't really hit it until he was in his 40s. Mm-hmm. That's when he really found success. And it took a while. And he's been very open about that struggle of his, too. And so it's one of those things where, everybody's got paths. Everybody's going to, my path is going to be different than yours. Is going to be different than yours. And
absolutely.
Oh yeah. Everybody has to take it. So it's your own trip. You got to try to enjoy it as best you can.
Nobody can walk it for you either.
Yeah. You got to do it or don't do it.
Yeah. You got to.
You can talk all you want, say you're going to do this and say you're going to do that, but it's until you actually take it and run with it. You got to take the leap. If you don't take the leap, you're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
But some people might think you're crazy. People thought I was crazy when I was going to open this shop. Mm-hmm. There's a barber right next door and a salon next door.
Yep.
But if you do it, you got to do it. You won't know until you try.
And just like that, touching on that, me and Andrew, we have conversations. Me and him, he blessed me by, I got in right at the right time, and me and him, we formed, a brotherhood, me and him, we become family, through this. And the thing is, you get to see in a person, what they're about, and just knowing how barber school went, because we get asked all the time, well, how was it?
Right.
It was the hardest, beeping thing I've done,
It takes a lot of patience,
but while we were going through it, and I know, probably with him too, people used to laugh all the time. They'd say, well, Corey, you were in the Army, for 7 years, and then you got out and you went to barber school, and they call it barber school. It's it doesn't really sound very nice, very churched up, and I had to go in. You got to do 40 hours a week. You can't have really a job. We both tried.
I worked night shift.
Do a night
Mount
shift.
Carmel,
it does. What it all boils down to is it does not come easy. So as soon as somebody goes to say, hey, I'm getting close to that thing, I feel that itch where I need to figure out my life, you got to understand that success is not going to come to you and be easy.
Well, and I think that's important to note, speaking of your histories too, about bringing that up, because like you said, you were in the Army for 7 years.
Yeah,
you're still in the Army.
Still in.
You're reserved.
Now reserved. Now,
right. And then you have had you used to be on the work.
Yeah,
on the river too.
I've worked all. When I was in my early 20s, I had my own construction, like a construction company, remodeling, doing stuff like that. And then I ended up getting, 2 years ago, I was out on the river in Pittsburgh working barges and, unloading barges, doing union operator stuff, things that guys do, and you make money, and you get a good paycheck and insurance and all that stuff, guaranteed hours. But you might enjoy it, but there's certain aspects of, like, hell, the Army, you die. You could easily, my job out on the river, I could have died multiple times moving them barges around. I almost died, a couple Christmases ago.
Right.
But it once you find what makes you happy, you know, that's that. It doesn't matter how much money you're making, because that exudes happiness into, you know, your family and the people around you. And like when I try to make it, when you come into my shop, you know, I want you to feel good about yourself, come in and have a good time, you know, come out looking good. But if you have, you know, questions, or you just want to shoot the breeze, somebody to talk to about, you know, your person, that actually means, you know, I kind of enjoy helping people, you know, talk things out. And but I, you know, I'm a helping ear, but a blind ear at the same time.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. And I think it's good, you know, back on that other story when they were talking about, you know, the mom, you know, this stepmom coming around and being judged. This is my other thing, too. A lot of people, if you ask them, a lot of clients, they don't want to talk to somebody that hasn't experienced life either.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's the thing. When you come into a shop, like, you know, say ours, the Wool Exchange is perfect. You know, Andrew and me, we, you know, two separate lives, but at the same time, a lot of the things that have, you know, went on in our lives, we both have different avenues and different ways to approach certain things. You know, you can sit there, and a lot of our clients, they come in, and then after, you know, their haircut and they're done, they walk out of there smiling and they feel great about themselves. Or, you know, they come in and we're having a bad day and they laugh and go, well, shoot, we don't have it that bad, you know, so.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's part of why I love your shop, man.
Well, like, you know, I couldn't go in the military because I was flat-footed. You know,
really?
So I would have went in the military just the same as, you know, as Corey did.
Okay.
But instead, I had to follow a different path. You know, I went into, you know, regular work. You know, doing construction, doing things that, you know, picking up jobs and learning trades. And I'm a, you know, jack of all trades, but a master of none. And that helps me out in my everyday life.
Right. He's a master barber, though.
There you go.
Yeah, you know, people say, but we'll see.
But all right, well, we have one more question left for you guys.
All right.
And Andrew, I think you as a business owner will really appreciate this one. So this is somebody who's got some career issues, I guess you could say. It says first world problem here. That's a great way to start the question, right?
We see a lot of first world problems in our shop. Yeah, a lot of drama about that first world stuff.
She says, I hate my job. I don't hate the company I work for. I don't hate my coworkers. I don't hate my boss. I hate what I do. This is kind of going along with what we just did. I'm an executive assistant. I'm 34, and if I have to schedule one more meeting, pick up another lunch for my boss, or put together another PowerPoint presentation, I'll lose my mind. I've given notice and will be quitting my job at the end of the month. I have money saved up, and my question is, what can I do now? I have no idea what being an executive assistant for 12 years qualifies me to do, other than being an executive assistant. I've learned that I'm not a people person. I'm quite introverted. I like math, and the less I have to deal with people, the better. Am I just a cranky bitch? Am I unrealistic? I need your advice, Andrew and Corey. I dread going to work every day. It's not a stressful job, and yet I feel stressed. I'm always on edge and aggravated. And we'll say this is sincerely messed up in Manchester.
Messed up.
I actually have a really great one for this.
Well, go ahead. Yeah, let me hear what you got.
She should have been a computer engineer. If you are introverted, don't like people, like math, and the less you have to deal with people, the better. Yeah. Sounds like you need to be sitting behind a computer in some basement somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I mean, wonder what her hobby is. You know, I mean, wonder what she does. I mean, people can go to school and say they're going to do this and say they're going to do that. Mm-hmm. You know, and then you get into it and you're like, yeah, I do this and it applies to some part of my life. But there's somebody, you always have something that you enjoy doing, you know. So if you've saved up some money, you know, that depends on how much you have, what you're going to do. You know, follow what if you can go to work every day and it doesn't feel like a job, doesn't matter how much money you make. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really doesn't. I mean, yes, be realistic with what the money brings in. You know, you have to live. You know, and then try not to.
If you have 5 kids, you're a single parent. You're working on minimum wage.
Yeah. You can't. You know, you can't do that. But you know, you should follow your dreams, really. You know, but at the same time, you need to have a plan. You can't just drop your job and just say, I'm going to do this. Screw it. I'm going moving to the beach and buying a boat and we're all going fishing every day for money. Because, you know, you got to have a plan, you know, and
going to live on a boathouse, kids.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I from what I did previous, you you have to sit back and think. You have to do the pros and cons about what you like doing in your life. Mm-hmm. And it came down to what does everybody always need? They always need something. So if you can have
besides sex,
well, that it is a whole nother. We could probably do a whole nother podcast on that one there.
Yes,
that's
the old, and barbering, and barbering
is one of the oldest. Yes, Caesar, and that's why they call it a Caesar haircut.
There you go.
That was the only dude allowed to touch the man.
There you
go. That's right.
With a straight blade. Oh yeah, come down to the shop and get a straight blade shave. You'll love it.
They're the best.
Yes, no waxing.
I don't know, sweetheart. I don't know what to do for you. You got to follow your dream.
I think quitting like that was a bad decision.
Yeah. You got to have a plan first.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. Even best plans, they sometimes can fail. Yeah. But even if they do, you just got to figure out where it went wrong and then change it.
Now, give her credit. At least she had money saved.
Yeah. A lot of people can't do that nowadays, the way that people live their lifestyles. Yeah. I know a lot of people live in a optical illusion, smoke and mirror kind of world where it looks like they're balling, but they're not. You know, they're living paycheck to paycheck. They're on a credit limit and they're doing this and that. My taste in life is I'd rather not. I'd rather have fun.
Yep.
And I don't need the brand new, 2018. I'll take a 2002 and still have just as much fun and have some money in my pocket to go take the kids out to dinner tonight and have a good time. And then that supports my local businesses around here. And I tip the waitress and, you walk around downtown.
Throw your cards around.
To pass out a sticker to the little kids and have a good time, you know. So, you just got to, know what you want and do it.
Right. And, Corey, you got anything with that one left? Or
I mean, that's really hard because I really can't say because, I know it sounds, cliche-ish, but I always wanted to do the profession that I'm doing right now.
Right.
So I don't work, as I get to live my dream and enjoy it. But at the same time, even doing that, like what she was saying, you also got to understand that even when you're living your dream, it gets hard on us too.
There's frustrations.
Okay?
There's frustrations.
And you think, yes, we've looked at each other, okay? I won't say what we said, but, we haven't wanted to be there at certain times.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is you got to take the good with the bad, and you got to figure out if that's really not your forte and there's something else. Well, then you got to start pushing towards that goal. But got
to be able to live.
Yeah,
that's very important.
Yeah, you got to be happy because YOLO, dog. You only live once. Man.
Oh my God.
Unless it's reincarnation, but that's another podcast.
Oh, that's a whole nother one.
Well, I appreciate all the advice, guys.
No problem.
I know that
I don't know if it's going to help or anything.
I don't,
I don't like it though.
But I know we definitely appreciate it, and I know our listeners appreciate it, and we really appreciate you guys sponsoring the show.
You're welcome.
And tell us a little bit about the shop, where we can find you guys, and just kind of what you guys do down there.
Well,
other than cut hair.
Well, we're at 111 South Columbus Street, across from the Mid-Off building in downtown Lancaster. If anybody's familiar with the Kern building, it's on the corner of Columbus and Main there. We have an old school barbershop.
Yeah.
Corey can tell you, we do straight razor shaves, fades, all types of hair. We want to make you look like, the way you do.
Right.
But at the same time, we want you to feel that you can, have a classic cut or, just stop in and get trimmed up and, just enjoy the atmosphere, and Corey, what else do you think, man?
Yeah, we're bringing back, I think, where we've really, got everything going for us is because people come in there, we have the old school barber vibe, but we're putting out new school cuts. Yep. We take our craft very, very serious. We're always striving for more, and we're always doing more and more things. This year, I believe it's this year, or is it next year? We're going to be going up to Cleveland to go to
this year. This
year to go and do a show, and we'll be up there. We're always looking to enhance our crafts too.
Yep. Go see a Cavs game while you're up there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that too, right? But we have a great shop and atmosphere. You can come in, you can be a guy, you can really do the old school barber talk. You don't have to worry about waking your barber up because he didn't take his meds and he's falling asleep
or watching Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, 2020.
All right, we have much respect for the older guys in the business.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If it wasn't for them, they're keeping it. They kept the trade alive.
Right.
It kind of died off there for a while. A lot of people went to what you wouldn't. Salons. Where you wouldn't think a guy,
like
guy, and the ladies have a great time in the salons, and that's great. They can talk and they can do, they talk about what women talk about.
Yeah.
Guys need a place where a guy can be a guy, and it's funny when you're sitting there and a young 15-year-old kid sitting in a chair and he's talking about, wanting to ask a girl out, and some guy sitting on the bench, chimes out and gives a good place for the kid to eat, and then we kind of make a joke about it and, pump him up a little bit, but tell him how to be a gentleman.
Right.
Don't be dumb. Don't be stupid. Don't be one of these kids that, that gets both of you in trouble.
Right.
When you're 17 years old.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff,
Absolutely.
We're trying to make it so everybody can come in there and feel good about themselves. I'd like to expand the shop here soon so we can get a little more people in the shop.
Yeah.
Right now we only have a 3-chair shop. It gets pretty packed in there.
Yeah.
We're working on it. We're trying to get, we're having some, luck with that 3rd chair. Not so good luck with that 3rd chair, but we're going to get a remedy. It's just me and Corey right now.
Okay.
But soon to expand, try to get a couple extra people in there, make it a walk-in and appointment based, kind of scenario. Try to help everybody out. I know there's been a long wait, and you got to come and sign in and do the things. Just bear with us until we can get it really working a little bit better. It's only my first year, but everybody in Lancaster, I appreciate it. You guys have been so positive.
You guys blew up.
I love all the
really
feedback
did.
on Facebook. It's great.
And that's the thing with us blowing up. That's the
and
thing
Instagram
too.
and hashtag whatever you want to say.
We want to make sure that everybody knows too. Andrew didn't set out to put this and be a fly by night type of thing.
Right.
The Wool Exchange, we want that to be a name that's always, it just remembered.
Right.
When these kids that are coming in right now that, I know that are only 6 years old, we're watching them. They were 6 last year. Now they're 7. They're getting ready to go to school. We want this when they come back when they're 17. Andrew has, sent off a couple of guys that we watched through senior, and now they're going to college, and they're talking to Andrew and telling them what college they're going to.
Yeah.
We want to be a household name that people can go and trust. So that's why we strive, like I said, about our craft, and we do appreciate everybody when you come in. I know it's swamped and it gets packed, but please understand that we do. We love everybody.
Yeah, we read your comments.
Oh, yeah.
We take all of it into consideration, and I thank everybody that came out down during the art walk this year. We had a hog roast, and we made it very. We did a customer appreciation party. I hope everybody enjoyed it. A lot of positive feedback. He was off doing his Army thing, and we greatly appreciate it. America.
Thank you for your service.
So, I just hope that everybody can just enjoy. And that's all I really want.
Yeah. Well, we love having it, and we really appreciate you back in the podcast and really helping us out. We appreciate that.
I love doing things for Lancaster, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice to see the hometown, starting to come back, coming up. I love how downtown's, really starting to pick back up, and it's nice.
We got the new barbecue joint. And
It's nice that what's like, what we're trying to do down there.
Mike and his wife just doing the cupcake place right down the street there.
Yeah.
They're selling out. I don't know what Mike's putting in there, what they're doing. But,
they're
doing their thing too.
They're doing
so
good.
Stop by and check them out
there
too.
You go.
And I just want to give a shout out to my daughter Kaylee, Alexis, Peyton, and Corey. I told you that I would get on this radio talk show. Bow.
Now I got to say, Aubrey and Elizabeth, I love you girls. I do this for you girls every day. Get up and everybody's got to do it every day. Every day, I love my kids. I love my kids.
Yes.
I get up and do it, and then we go have some fun afterwards. That's all it's about.
There you go. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll have to do this again, and we'll do more live streams with you guys. We'll try to get. If you guys want to ask Andrew and Corey questions, go ahead and submit them. You can comment on the YouTube channel here. You can comment on the Facebook. The Facebook. What am I? 97. But you could comment there. And if you guys want to know anything, the next time we do this, we'll get all those questions in. We'll pick a few of them, and then we'll get them to Andrew and Corey. And so with that, thank you guys for tuning in. And
thank you, My Mental Breakdown.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. But with that, everybody, I'm Caleb.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Corey.
Make sure, stay sane, everybody.